Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, Mama Fox Studios. This is Missy and we are continuing to build our story frame series by Rolife. This is Santa's Workshop. We're on build number 3. Now we've completed our door, which I'm sad to say I thought it was going to open and close. It does not. It is in there solid. And our railing and steps. And then on our last build, whoop, we put together the plastic bit here on our 3 windows, and we put together our little street lamp. So we're going to now put these onto here. So let's just jump right in, shall we? First off, we need to take our centerpiece. Now on the left is the little notch on the left, on the right, the little notch on the right, and the big one's in the center. So on the center, we also have 3 pieces here. We have R8. What are the other ones? I don't know. They were R8 and 2 R9s, these little ones. Did I not put? Okay, we got to start with R9s. I forgot to put these in. So it says to pay attention to the, I'm going to start on the left. The one with the little notch on the left. Now we want this angled down, or no, sorry, angled on the left side. So it's going to go in this notch here, and that is going to angle down towards that slot. So it does not show glue, but y'all know me by now. I'm going to glue my pieces because I don't trust them. I'm just using Aleene's original tacky glue in a little squeeze bottle. So we're going to slap these 2 onto the door frames here. That glue will dry clear. You want to make sure they're even. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, on the right side. That one in there. All right, and then the big one is going to go, whoop, nowhere if you don't want to, right in the center. So we're gonna put our glue on this one. Go in those 2 outside holes. There we go. All right. Now we're going to, we did our sides up. So we also have this little B10 that we pulled out. And this is going to set in these back little holes. And again, it doesn't show glue, but I'm putting it on. So we'll snap that one right in there. Oh, be careful when you push it in. You want to make sure it's really straight so you don't snap those little feet off. That is a bit of a tight fit, so that's good. Yep, that's a very tight fit. There we go. All right, and then, so our centerpiece is here, left and right. And I'm also gonna glue those in. Whoop. Try not to make sure I don't put my finger through one of those window spots. Just want to make sure it's flush all the way down to the bottom. I'm not going to glue the sides together. I don't think they really need it. At least not right now. They match up very nicely with those corners on the little railings. If it becomes an issue, but we'll put something on top, which will hopefully help hold them. If it becomes an issue, I can always pop a little glue in there. You want to make sure that those plastic pieces are in the back. Yep, see what I mean? Be careful. I was not careful. I broke it all. Y'all, I just smashed this to pieces. Okay, learn to do what I do. Learn to not do what I do. Okay, gotta get that little piece out. Okay, I'm not gonna panic because honestly I've done this like a million times in the past. We're gonna glue it. So be very, very careful. I'm also going to add a little bit of my super glue because I want this to dry quickly or get tacky quickly. I would say I can't believe I did that, but I kind of can. You're starting off this day lovely already. Oh. That's going to be my weak point because that's where it's going to sit down in there. Jeez. Okay. Oh. No. Okay, let me grab. I'm not going to worry about this little light spot down there, but you can see where the wood cracked here, so I'm just going to try to marker over that a little bit. Kind of camouflage it. Oh no. This is really weak. Oh gosh. Oh, you don't want to go back together. We're waiting for glue to dry. 'Cause I'm a klutz and broke my piece. Yep. Yeah, that piece just does not want to stay on there. Dang it. At least that little bit's on the back. You're not going to notice it, but still. Oh. Please be careful with these pieces. I'm kicking myself. That was just so stupid. I knew when I was pushing it, I was doing it too hard too, and I was just telling myself, ease up, and then bam, I didn't even have a chance to take my own advice. Okay. Ugh. We gotta put the plastic back on the back. Now, in the past, if I had done this, I would have been totally 100% panicked. But I'm at the point where I'm like, it's okay. Just put it back together. Pretty much most things can be fixed one way or another with enough glue. Or with just kind of a imagination. This doesn't take much imagination. It did take a bit of glue though. Like I had a comment a little while ago, like somebody had been on a different build, somebody had been missing a little silver bead that was supposed to be a handle, and asked like if I had any suggestions, because they had bigger silver beads but not the right small one. And I said, well, you know, you could always, if you have extra big ones, because sometimes they give you extra, you could always glue it like into a little piece of wire. You could glue the wire to one side of the bead hole, you know, or just use a tiny little bit of a tin foil balled up. And I wrote it, and I thought, wait, would that work? So I had to try it. Yeah, it would work in a pinch. Okay, so now we're going to much more carefully glue this back in there. And just because of the vulnerability of it, I am going to put a little bit of super glue on the side here to try to help me not bust this. Oh, please. I'm going to push from the bottom only. Oh, no. There we go. I think it's in. Now, like I said, we're going to put something on top so it'll help hold those together in the correct, at the correct angles. But I just want to make sure that all my pieces are flush on the bottom. Yes, they do look like they're all flush. Oh, please. If one's sticking up and you put a top on, it won't be level. So you want to make sure these are all flat onto that base. I think I'm good. Okay, well, one disaster already this morning. Let's see how many more we can create, shall we? Whew. Okay, let my heart rate slow down a minute. Okay, so that is now completed there. Okay, we're going to go on to the top window. So we're going to set, uh-oh. I didn't even notice till just now that this came flying off of the centerpiece. Oh, we got to get this back on now. Great. With it already plugged in. Okay, that wasn't that hard. That one just slipped right in there. set that over there, let it dry. We're going to make the top window. So we need B1. BR is our thin brown one, and I can't see the numbers unless I shine. Okay, so yeah, B1 is this big one here. If you have trouble, like there's the letter, I cannot see it until I hit it with the light sideways. Take care of those little notches from the wood. And I'm going to hit the side with a little brown marker just to even it out, darken it up a little bit. This is totally optional, just an option that I do nowadays. Okay, and then we need, whoops, to put that on right, E, which is our other big piece of wood. So E1, and these are much thicker. E3, okay, this little one here underneath it. E17, which is one of the smaller gingerbread men. And E16, which is one of the candy canes. Okay, and then R's. R is here in the plastic bag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all 5 remaining pieces, all the white ones in the bag, that is our 12. Our 13s are the little T ones. And our 14 are the little ones with 2 holes. Our bag is empty. And then the paper cutting, we need M10. It's our second piece of cutout paper. Whoops. M10. Oh, it's this little one here. The little zigzaggy on the bottom. And then P1. What is a P1? Where did my parts go? Right here. P1. Oh, the mirror paper. Okay, so it's this little bit of mirror paper there that we have. Okay. So on P1, we want to remove the protective film, it says, and that's the backing, that bluish, kind of how it has that blue tint to it. I believe that's the side with the film, right? I'm not very good at these. There it is. Come on, grab. Okay. Now let go. And then, okay, it's not sticky or anything. All right, now it's showing to say to use double-sided tape, and we know I'm not using the double-sided tape. Okay, on here, so I'm just going to use my aliens. So we want to take the M10, which if I can pick it up here, which is our little piece of paper, and we want to just put it right on top. All right, so I'm going to just, and you can use their double-sided tape, you can use your own double-sided tape. I'm good with using just a line of glue. And we just want to line it right up with that top edge. Oh, it's okay. It's going to be longer than the piece, and we want to center that kind of. Whoop. Just try not to really touch too much of the mirror paper, but that's not an option. So just want to make sure it's lined up at the top and fairly centered with the excess over the sides. A little bit of glue on there. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to take our 12 and there, okay, there is a printed side. It's literally just a single line down the center that's on there. That's not on the back. Okay, so we want the printed side forward, and we're just going to glue this behind it. Okay. It shows tape, but we know I'm gluing. This is why I love this precision tipped bottle. If I tried to use it out of the original Aliens bottle, I would have glue everywhere. And they were cheap. They were a couple bucks for like 3 of them on Amazon. All right. So we just, okay, we want to line this up in the back over those windows. Don't cover up your side holes. You're going to sit right in between the side holes and right in between the top and bottom, just like that. Whoop. I glue on my finger and it got, that's okay, it's the back. I said that glue will dry clear, so I'm just smearing it all over the place. Awesome. Okay, there's our little mirrored window. Cool. All right, and then we want to take one of the R14s with the little notches up towards us, and we're going to stick this base in the 2 holes. Okay, so we have our little window on the ledge now. All right, and then, whoop. Now we're gonna take E1, and these notches here are gonna slide down into here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my glue, again, doesn't show glue, but I'm gonna glue. So you've got to kind of notch it in, and then okay, it sits right on those little notches there. All right, and then we're going to take the other R14 and put those right on top. Whoops, missed that by a mile. Oh, that glue's not going on top of there. Why did I do that? We're gonna notch in here. Oh my gosh. Wow, sorry, I'm having issues today. Okay, down on the window frame, and now let's make sure that it's it's flush with the top, because we don't want it to bend angled down. We want that down and that. There we go. Okay, so a little inset window. That is a cute idea. I not ever made a window like that. That's adorable. All right, and then our two little R13s here are gonna go, oh, in the side. Okay, we're gonna frame out the side of that box. So they're just gonna slide right in there, and make sure you don't pop your whole window out. So hold on to it. There we go, and you just want to make sure that they're flush all the way on the inside. I gotta give it to Rolife. They're either spot on, like this is a great window idea, or they're honestly miserable. Like, I've had really bad Rolife. It's usually the directions are bad, but this one is so far very nice. And now that top is not going to angle down too far. Now you can make sure it's flush because it's hitting on those sides. That's great. I really like that window frame idea. So our little inset window, perfect. Okay, and then, oh, it just says double-sided tape. We're gonna take our little gingerbread and our candy cane and just put them on the wall, I guess. I'm just gonna glue them on. And there's not really like any spot for them. So you can just kind of put them over here however you like. All right, candy cane and gingerbread man. There we go. All right. Now we're going to take E3. Oh, and then B1. So B1, the bulk of it, the big part, is going to be on the right facing us. And we want E1 to go, okay, on the two outside bits. Again, these are pressure pointed, but I'm going to still glue. And you do need to, we do go slightly under, so you can't have it on the tabletop to get it flush. You do need to pick it up. They do stick out a little bit beyond that, okay? And then our window one, we are going to go in those back two. So this goes right behind it. Again, once you get it started, pick it up. Oh, be careful, be careful. Make sure it's all the way pushed in flush. All right, there is our top window. Now we're going to make the eave it shows. Okay, so set this over and let's get more pieces. We're going to build out this front. So we need A's, which are our little, where did it go? Oh, it's down here. The little black one, we need A1, A2, A3, and A4. Very hard to see. Okay, A1 is up, A2, A3, and A4. Okay. Here's A1. Careful you don't break the little trees on here. A2. A3. And A4. Okay, so these ones did stick a bit. They got a little bit of a burrs on them. So we're going to have to take those off. They're so fragile. They're very, very thin. So be careful. Whoop. And I'm going to take my acrylic paint marker. I don't know if we need to. I don't know if we'll see them, but I'm going to do it anyways. So I have been building this one build a day. I really like, yesterday I was itching to build more. I'm like, no, because I only have, well, I have 5, but one I've got to return because it's too much of a dupe. So eventually I will again have 5, but I think I've got to slow down just because the cost of these things are getting so expensive. When I started this, I mean, yeah, they were a little spendy, but like $40 could get you a really, really big kit, and like 25, 30 could get you any of the good medium ones, you know. And now, like the big one my son got me, the Oriental one, was like $75. I'm not paying that for a build. That's insane. I'm just not, you know. I buy all these kits myself. There's no sponsorship. They don't send me nothing. Companies don't even know I exist, which is how I want it. I do this for my own enjoyment, and it is just too dang expensive. So I'm not going to be building 4 and 5 times a day. I'll be building once a day and stretching this out so that I can get more time on them. Okay, bees. We need B2. Okay, this is just horrid. Okay, that's B2. B3 is a little bit smaller. B4. Okay, that one. B5, 6, 7. Okay, I think I dropped one of them out. Where'd it go? Right there. That's 6. Here is 7. And then B14. Okay, this one here in the corner. Clean these up. Popped out pretty good. There's a little bit of an, like a, more of an indent than a notch, but that one was a little bit notched. Of a burr, that's what I meant, a burr. Mark your size. I know you can fast forward through the boring parts if you like. Not gonna hurt my feelings. Like I just said, I do this for my enjoyment. I do it for your enjoyment too, but it's the bonus part. So I do try to kind of hurry along for those of you that don't want to fast forward. See, this is why I originally started it. So when it splits a little bit of the wood there, you can see that, and I would go in and just darken up those little spots. And then it just kind of progressed to all of the edges. And if I know, like, I'm sure these parts won't show, but it's just as easy to hit them real quick. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I guess it matters if I have the brain power to figure out what edges are going to be seen and what aren't. And I don't always have that brain power, so most days I just do it all. Some things I like the look of the, raw wood, but for the most part, I like it more consistent. So that's why I color them up. And these brush tips, these are Mr. Pens. They're not the alcohol markers. Because my brown alcohol markers are kind of weird brown. And this brown, this Mr. Pen, just really works well for most of the wood, of the brown wood. So I use this mostly here on the brown woods. Even if it's not a perfect match, it's usually close enough. I know y'all screaming like, Missy, talk about something other than markers. Jesus. I don't know why I've been fascinated with markers lately. A couple of years ago, it was the twistable pencils. You guys seen those? I was fascinated with those. I must have had like 6 sets of those. Moved on to markers. I don't know. All right, and then we need E, which is our big colorful wood. E4, 5, and 6. So E4 is here. E5 is our big green one. And E6 is the little train one over here. Careful not to break that smoke. I noticed it felt it kind of want to, there we go. Or the tree, yeah, be careful with those. Okay, this one I'm just gonna hit it with the green. Probably won't turn it green. Oh, well, a little bit, not bad. Sometimes that brown wood doesn't like to go other colors, but it just kind of matches just enough. Mostly that front edge, that corner where when I sand it takes a little bit of it off. Okay, and then I'm going to use my alcohol. I'm not going to, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just do all the sides. Not going to worry about matching the green on the green. I'll just hit it with the white. Not going to worry about the bottom. It'll just look like snow's falling on it. If If I really wanted to get finicky, I could color match like the yellow on the star, but no, 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 no. I'm not that nutso. But I just don't care for that brown look on top of, you know, where you can obviously tell it's snow, and then you've got a brown. So that's just my preference there. I know it's not going to be like 100% full coverage because this is a pretty dark brown wood. I'm just going for most covered, you know, mostly covered. I'm not going to worry about the bottom on these ones. Okay. Oh, I need ends, which is our sticker. So we're going to need in 12, 13, 14, and 15, all the little snow ones. Oh, what is K? K is our other paper. We need K1 and K6. So K1 is the big green toy shop sign. And K6 is our snow cover. Okay, now what are we doing? And where are we at time-wise? Oh, we're at almost 50. Okay. All right, so we need, all our little black ones here are going to get the stickers on them. So let me, okay, so N15 here goes on A1. And you know, I'm going to glue these on because I don't trust the stickers. I can't even get it off the paper. Jeez. There we go. So N15, I'm just gonna pop some glue on my nail. Totally messed the paper. All right. And then it's going on A1. Okay, these are double-sided, so we don't have to worry about sides here. And they fit pretty good. All right. And then in 14, goes on A2. Whoop. I almost just put that on backwards. Yes, I almost just did that. It's easier for me to put them on from the back. That way I can just see them better. And it does show that center is popped out. Okay, yeah. It just, the sticker just came out with it. It's already cut out, so. Maybe. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, and then in 13, it's going on a 3. There we go. And then in 12, goes on A4. Last but not least. There we go. All right, those 4 now are done there. All right, so we want to take E5, which is our green one. Now we're going to turn it upside down with that big bulk on the right facing us. Okay, we're going to put B3. So we kept these in order, B2, so B3 here with the notch down is going to go in this front little notch, right? Okay. So I'm going to keep repeating this because I don't want anybody yelling at me. They do not show glue used. If there is any attachment, they show double-sided tape. Not on this one, but I am using glue. So that's totally up to you, your call. They have the number here, so I make sure I'm going to put that number facing inside. Okay, we just want that flush right down in the flush on the front. And then B5, B4, B5 down here. Notch down is going on the little, no, here in the front, not in that hole, on the front. I was like, it doesn't fit. It does in the front notch. Come on. Yep, and there we go. We're flush there. They don't quite meet in the corner, but that's okay. All right, and then next is in the front, B2. So here, B2. I think we're just like putting the front frame around this. Be careful, don't break anything, because, you know, I've already done that today. I don't need to do it again. Do need to make sure that they're all the way in. No, that one's not sitting right. No. Okay, start over. I found instead of putting them in, if I put them down, it works better. And that side just wasn't, still not back. Come on, I don't want to break you. Sometimes you need a little help. Don't break. Maybe if I do that. Oh, there we go. No, I still got a little notch. I can see a little space. Okay, well, we'll just take off the front then. It did get it down though. I don't know what that is all about. Blends right in though. All right, and then, so that was B3, B5, B2, and now B4. Just this one goes right here in the front corner. Okay, and then B14, which is the one here, the big notch down, right, is going in this back one here, right in front of the little hole. Okay, so make sure that big notch is down. And it is flush. Yep, okay. Now we're going to take our little top window here, and they're going to set inside of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is going to go right in there. Wait, so if those go, okay, so it's this edge that's going to touch. Nope, that's wrong, right there. See what I mean by some days I can't tell where glue's gonna go, where markers are gonna go. One of those days. And again, it doesn't show this, but I'm gluing. Not a ton, just enough to give it a little bit of support. Like, I'm not gluing like I know this, the glue is going to be the only thing that holds it. All right, and then we're going to ease this in, but we've also got to make sure that this one in the back is lined up. There, it's on there, and it's on the one in the center. You're not fitting right. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to make sure everything is down flush. It is. That one is. That fits nice. Okay, except this one is not back far enough. It's like angled forward a little bit. There we go. There we go. Yes, okay, I think we're fitted all the way around. All right, and then B6, which is our tall one here, is going to come with the L shape forward, and it's going to fit the bottom and the side here. Okay, so okay, and I just saw, and the center one here. Whoop. So you got to get multiple pieces lined up at once, which is not always easy. So center piece in, yep, bottom, and now we'll carefully push it in. There. There we go. Now we're flush. We're flush. Not all the way flush. There we go. Okay. Yep. And now the same thing on the other side with B7. Get that center one lined up and then follow through with top and bottom. I think it's easier. I'm going to make sure everything's mostly lined up before I turn over and give it a good push. And then make sure it's down. There we go. Not quite sitting. Well, it kind of does that on there. It lifts up a little bit just in the back corner. Not much. Hopefully when we attach it to something, it will help it hold there. Okay, so yay, yay, yay. And then K6, we're just putting paper on here, really? What? Oh no, paper. I was like, huh? No, we're gonna, okay, this is going to go. There's an overlap over here that now it says to double side tape, but we know we're not doing that, so. So make sure I get the front and the back really good and around the hole so nothing like lifts. So I'm going to pay special attention to my glue areas there. And then the rest just da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to get glue everywhere because we know I like to glue. Make sure you're all the way in the back and lined up on those holes. Now it's flush here, but there is a little bit of an overlap here and here and here. Not on the edges and not on the very front. So I'm thinking that's probably intentional. Let's see what's next. Okay, next is our sign, K1. And again, it says to tape, but it's going to go along here. Okay. And there are, oh nice, there are bin marks. Oh, that makes it so much nicer. This glued on. I know we're getting close to an hour. If not, we're already there, but I want to get this finished up this top eave finished up so I don't have those little pieces floating around for a day because I have a tendency to lose stuff. Okay, make sure it's right set up, and here we go. All right, make sure we're flush on the bottom. Yep. Oh, that's a nice fit. This is why Rolife does good. They do a lot of their paper stuff very good with that. As I speak that, maybe it's just the way I put it on, but we have a little bit of a gap here. That's okay. It's pretty well. Okay. Then, okay, E6, which is here, and it says pay attention. There's a red exclamation. We gotta pay attention to something. Okay, so this, we're just going, it says double-sided tape. We're gonna glue it so the toy shop sign is through the middle. So, I'm going to add just a bit of super glue to the sides here. I'm going to set it up so that it is flush on the ground so that we're not beyond that. And then to the sides, yep, pretty good. It's a cute idea to frame a sign there. And then on the side here, on the bottom is D, which, okay, when we made these turn into A, B, C, and D. So A1 is A, A2 is B, A3 is C, and A4 is D. So D is going to go on the bottom of this little corner here, and then C is going to go on the top. Okay. Whoops. And I am going to again hit them just with a touch of super glue. Stand that up and make sure it's centered and on the ground. There we go. All right, same thing to C, only we're going to do it at the top now, so I can't use the tabletop to make sure I'm flush. So but that little bit of that overhang from that paper is there, so I can make sure I can use that. There we go. Sorry if I was out of frame. Sorry guys, sorry guys. Did I move you again? I moved you. Oh, you're not straight now. There we go. Okay, so we have those two pieces there. Flip the page. Our last little bit will go in here. So on this little part is B at the bottom. Whoop. Come on. And A at the top. And then this one, E4, is going to go on here. So we've got to just put our three last little signs, and then we'll do a little sneak peek of what's next. the top piece. All right, there's that one. Now we're going to, oh, these need to be more, okay. That would have been kind of nice to know when I was putting them together. They need to be more pushed over to, oh, just came off. Hold on, I'll show you what I mean just a sec. So they need to be more over to the side of the sign that's already there on the front. When this goes on, it needs a little bit of that space in the corner. Otherwise it sticks out past the edge because it was hitting on the fronts of these. So make sure these are just lined up right with the corner there, and it should. So you're going to have a gap here, but that's where the corner of this one's going to go and set in. Here's my glue getting thin because it's saying we're done, we're out of time, let's go. I know we're almost done. And yes, that little overhang of the paper does cover over those. Okay, I thought, for a second I almost trimmed. I was like, no, it's too specific in those 3 spots and not the front, because this was butting up against the front, but these needed that little bit of overhang to cover top of the wood, which is a very nice touch. I really appreciate that bit of, this is crooked and I don't know why, that little bit of, you know, extra attention to detail. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but then I think it's the way the piece is sitting. See, I want this flush, so this needs to have enough room. There we go. All right. That is absolutely so cute. I really like the way it went together. I really do. Like, these look like this is a whole piece, but then these look like whole pieces, but they're not. They're just, because if you had had edges, it would have been so difficult to get them to not fight about who gets the corners. So that was great. Yeah. That is really cute, y'all. Okay, so let's sneak peek real quick. So far we have, this is gonna sit up here, I do believe. But next we will do, we have a blackboard to make, and we have some paper boxes to fold. Oh, we know how to fold paper boxes, thank you. We have some gift boxes, we'll probably get all that done. A crystal ball, a desktop. We'll see how much of this we can get into, because sometimes the folding does take a little bit of time. That's our desktop, and then we're going to start the assembly sequence with our lighting. Okay, I don't think we'll get to this. We're gonna see how much of this we can get done. All of this may take us 2 rounds just because it is a lot of folding. So anyways, thank you guys for being here. You're truly, truly awesome, and I really do appreciate it. Let me not lose that. So yeah, thank you so much. There's what we've completed so far, and I hope to see you on the next build. Bye.